Magician!
Hey YouTube, Dogtrician84 here. Thought I'd do a video on the way to work. Basically talking about why it is that I keep quitting tournaments. So at the time of recording this, the January ban list still hasn't dropped. It probably will before this goes up, who knows. I guess a few people don't find tournaments appealing at the moment, due to the meta, or enjoying Master Duel more, or both. Of course, so I myself have my own reasons. I think I ended up quitting 11 times now, I think. Although, to be fair, before the last 3 times, it was only a temporary comeback to tournaments. Just to achieve certain things. Like this tournament challenge that I've been doing with my Epic Elite decks. Yeah, for me personally, there's a number of reasons why. The main one being because of the meta and decks that I absolutely hate. I'm just absolutely fed up of them. Like I said before, I hate decks that do things that don't let me play the game, like whether it's an OTK deck, an FTK deck on some rare occasion, or a lockdown deck, which some might consider a troll deck, but when it comes to things like Endymion and Pendulum Magician, there's absolutely no difference. Like, lockdown, control, it doesn't matter. Like, it still does the same thing, just negate my deck and stop me from playing the game. And decks like that just make the tournament play off-putting and unappealing. I just don't see the point in playing out a match if I can't play, basically. Now, even though there are outs to these decks and ways to beat them, what you need to understand is that just because there are outs to an annoying card or an annoying deck doesn't mean you're guaranteed to see them every single time, no matter how many outs you have. Like, believe me, I know. Like, you could side in the absolute nuts against problematic decks and still not draw anything you sided in, which is actually another thing that basically put me off. Not always drawing my sided cards when I need them. Like, sometimes I do, but it feels like most of the time I just don't draw them when I need them. It's really annoying. Oh, and by the way, I just want to clarify, which I should have done right at the start, is that I am in no way trying to put people off playing in tournaments. I'm just simply explaining why they don't appeal to me personally anymore. But in this case, it's just OTK, FTK, and lockdown decks, regardless of whether it's meta, anti-meta, or neither. Like, I understand that they're part of the game, but they shouldn't be. And that doesn't mean I have to like them. And it still doesn't justify the existence of bullshit, unfair cards and decks that say you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like decks like that just make the game off-putting and unappealing to some people. Like either it just puts them off just outright playing the game, or in my case, makes me not want to play in tournaments anymore. In fact, they're basically the main reason why I don't want to play competitively and end up quitting tournaments. Like, it's to specifically get away from decks like that so that I don't have to deal with them anymore. Regardless of whether I can beat them or not, they just frustrate me too much. And it's like, what's even the point in playing out a duel if I can't play? See, when I play Yu-Gi-Oh!, I want to actually play a game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, you see, because interestingly enough, some of us don't want to get gamed turn one before we've had a chance to do anything, or have our deck locked down by some bullshit board of negates or disruptions so that we can't fucking do anything. Otherwise, it's not fair. And it's just annoying that Konami either doesn't do anything about them on the ban list, or they just don't do enough. It'll be a case of no matter what changes are made to an annoying deck, it literally makes no difference. It still ends up doing things that don't let anyone play. And things like that just make me lose faith in Konami when it comes to the ban list. I guess that's it, really, for the main reason. Oh, lovely, there's a helicopter. The other reason, really, is not always seeing the sided cards when I need them. I've already talked about that. I guess the other one is constantly getting fucked over by end of match procedure. Seriously, I absolutely hate end of match procedure. Whether it's the current way of doing it or the previous way, which was the 4-turn rule or 5-turn rule. Almost every time my matches go to time, I keep fucking losing through it. Yeah, there are times where I do win through end of match procedure or get a draw, but that doesn't happen that often. I mean, a draw is better than a loss, but it's still not a win, and you just don't progress further. It's annoying. I also hate how some people even use Mystic Mine to stall out games and try and win through end of match procedure that way. Like, whether their life points are higher, or they're one game up, or they have more cards in deck than the opponent. Like, it's so cheap and dirty. I'm sure that hasn't happened recently, but it can happen. Yeah, it's annoying. And I guess the other thing really is just dealing with people who take the game far too seriously. Like, I'm so sick and tired of it. Just people who play nothing but meta or even former meta, I guess, and just only seem to care about winning rather than playing for fun. Like, especially when it's someone who used to play some fun original decks, and then they just give up on originality and their love of the game just to play meta and try and win all the time. Like, it's just sad to see. And then of course there's like the rule sharking, backseat dueling. Not that that's happened at my locals, or at least not recently. But you know, it's something that can happen in any locals. Yeah, it's so annoying. And also just having too much of a competitive mindset where, like, they think playing OTK and lockdown or control decks is the only way to play, but it's really not. Like you don't need to play those kinds of decks to either win or just have fun playing the game. That being said, though, there's absolutely nothing fun about OTK and lockdown decks, or FTK and troll decks for that matter. I just don't get how anyone can enjoy playing a deck that does something that doesn't let anyone play the game. Like, decks like this just ruin the game and suck all the fun, life and joy out of it. Like, why would you play something that stops anyone from being able to play? Like, again, it just makes competitive play, or even the game itself, just off-putting and unappealing. Like, do you not think? And it's also annoying how they even try and justify playing those kinds of decks by saying, oh, but it's an OTK deck, it's a control deck, it's what the deck's supposed to do. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make it any better. Like, and it sure as hell doesn't justify the existence of those types of cards, or justify, like, only caring about winning and nothing else. I'm just so fed up of it. I guess that those are the main reasons why tournaments just don't appeal to me anymore. There have been other reasons in the past why I quit. Not recently, but have been off-putting. Being given a hard time over a game state mistake that wasn't even my fault. And Ash Blossom existing. Now, I know hating Ash is an unpopular opinion, but, like, again, it's just one of those cards that does things that don't let anyone play the game, and I'm just so sick and tired of seeing it in almost every fucking deck I see. Like, sure, there are ways to counter it, but not that many. Caught by the Grave is hardly a viable option anymore because it's limited. I hate that Konami did that. Triple Tactics talents can help you play around it, but again, it's too expensive and too difficult to get, and although drawing 2 cards is nice, I'd rather have the effect that Ash Blossom stopped, you know. Cross-out Designator is also too expensive and too difficult to get, so I'd much rather have 3 copies of Called by the Grave. You know, like, it's a lot cheaper and easier to get, and like, there was just no valid reason to limit it on the September 2020 list. And I guess one other thing really is just Dragoon existing, another card that I'm so sick of seeing in almost every deck I see. It wasn't the reason. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say whether or not it's part of the reason why I don't want to play in them anymore. But yeah, I'm just fed up of monsters that negate whole decks, like especially Dragoon. And I'm starting to just lose faith that it'll ever get hit on the list. So yeah, that's literally it. Those are all the reasons why I keep quitting tournaments, and why they just don't appeal to me anymore. But yeah, the only reason I came back to them recently was to see how I get on with my Epic Elite decks, the very best decks that I have. And try and defeat Endymion once and for all. Because until the last tournament, I have never ever been able to beat it, like outside of an endurance. and I just wanted to defeat one of my arch nemesis decks. Well, I guess the main arch nemesis deck once and for all. And I finally did it. But although I feel like I won by pure luck, basically, more than anything, since that deck's near impossible to beat. I guess luck was on my side, finally. But yeah, now that that's all over with, I just don't want to do them anymore. So I've of course now retired from normal local tournaments for good, and for real this time. I know I've said that before and ended up coming back, but this time I'm dead serious. Of course, I'll still play in any more Pegasus Challenge and Speed Duel tournaments that we might do, and I'm willing to give pass format tournaments a go, absolutely. But for me personally, there's just no appeal to normal locals anymore. Like, sure, the ban list could change everything, but who knows if it really will. Like, even if we get a good ban list, and problematic decks are dealt with, like, something equally annoying or even worse always comes along and starts the whole cycle all over again. Along with the fact that cards and decks that should get hit don't get hit, which is annoying. And it's like, well, what is even the point in having a ban list at all if we're always going to have degenerate, unfair cards and decks? And that's another thing. I'm just fed up of ban list discussions and discussions about banned cards. I feel like those kinds of discussions just create too much negativity in the game. I just don't want to deal with any more negativity. Like, I feel like there's just too many toxic and negative aspects about the competitive side. A lot of you might disagree, but that's what I think. I think other than this, I'd rather just stick to the casual side. It's more fun, it's more chilled out, and at least people playing casually just play the game the way it should be played. Well, most of us anyway. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. Those are just my thoughts on competitive play, basically. And yeah, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Magician YouTube channel.